In Revelation 1:12 through 20, John sees the risen Christ holding 7 stars in his right hand and standing among 7 golden lampstands. Then it says plainly, the 7 stars are the 7 angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. So each 7 becomes a fractal layer of meaning. 7 stars are the spiritual intelligences, planetary or angelic forces. The 7 lampstands are the earthly embodiments, the churches, and the 7 spirits before the throne are the divine emanations or modes of consciousness. They're one structure viewed from different vantage points: celestial, terrestrial, and spiritual. In classical cosmology, these correspond to the 7 visible planets, called the 7 luminaries: Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, in the Ptolemaic geocentric system. These 7 govern the cycles of time, light, and vibration that generate everything perceptible. Ancient mystics saw them as the 7 tones of creation. They're called the cosmocrators, or cosmic creators. From these 7 archetypes emanate 7 colors, red through violet, 7 musical notes, do to ti, the 7 metals from lead to gold, and the 7 vowels in the sacred alphabets. Each 7 is a refracted form of the same divine principle, like one white light diffracted through a prism into the full rainbow of existence. In esoteric thought, the lampstands also mirror inner energy centers, the human churches within the body temple. Each church corresponds to a center of consciousness illumined by one of the planetary fires. The stars in the hand are the same forces held in divine order, the heavenly pattern from which the earthly temple takes form. So in summary, the Revelation vision encodes a law of correspondence. As above the stars, so below the lampstands. As within the spirits, so without the churches. 7 isn't just a number, it's the signature of manifestation itself, the structure through which unity expresses multiplicity. The sword as the lightning flash of creation. In Revelation 1:16, the description of the sharp two-edged sword coming from the mouth of the Son of Man represents divine word as creative energy. The Logos in action. In Kabbalistic cosmology, the lightning flash that zigzags down the tree of life from Kether, the crown, to Malkuth, the kingdom, is the same pattern by which God speaks existence into being. That sword comes out of Jesus' mouth. It's the emanative word, the stream of divine consciousness that descends through the Sephiroth. It's the tongue of fire that creates the worlds. The flaming sword of Sophia. In Gnostic and Kabbalistic mystery language, Sophia is the intelligence of creation. It's why we say the word sophisticated. Sophia, the goddess of wisdom. Sophia is the aspect of God that differentiates the infinite into form. The flaming sword of Sophia can thus be seen as that same lightning flash, but viewed from within creation, as the pathway of descent. Consciousness folding inward, densifying, weaving light into matter. We don't fall from heaven to earth. We collect in each frequency as we fold into being. That means incarnation isn't a punishment or a fall, it's the crystallization of the divine spectrum. The sword doesn't cut downward in exile, it spirals into embodiment. The 7 stars. Those stars in his hand correspond beautifully to the 7 lower Sephiroth. They are the spectrum of divine manifestation, held, integrated within the Logos. When the sword, the lightning flash, moves through these 7, it articulates creation itself. The sword that proceeds from the mouth of the sun is the flaming path of Sophia, descending through the stars. It's not a fall of man, but the folding of heaven into form, the Word becoming world. Revelation 1:16 says, he held in his right hand 7 stars. Those 7 stars are not random. They are the 7 classical planets, also called the 7 visible luminaries. From Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Those were the 7 spheres of ancient cosmology before telescopes. The Sun, Christ, stands at the center and harmonizes all 7 luminosities. So what does Jesus holding the 7 stars actually mean? It means Christ's consciousness governs and balances the 7 forces of the planetary soul. Not metaphorically. This was the original esoteric Christ teaching before Rome suppressed it. The 7 stars are the 7 powers of the psyche, and the hand equals authority and mastery. So the message is, Christ is the harmonizing principle of the cosmos, the heart center that orders the planetary spheres. The 7 stars in Christ's hand are the 7 classical planets, Moon through Saturn, mapped from Yesod to Bina on the Tree of Life. Christ, Tifereth, is the harmonizing sun that holds and orders the 7 planetary powers. John's visionary description of the glorified Christ is in truth a planetary revelation, each phrase unveiling one of the 7 spheres. His face shone like the sun, the central solar logos. source and harmonizer of all planetary powers. His eyes were like flames of fire, the blazing gaze of Jupiter, Zeus, the divine king and lawgiver. His voice was like the sound of many waters, the fluid reflective resonance of the moon, queen of tides and emotion. A golden sash around his chest, the radiant ornament of Venus, Aphrodite, the unifying heart of beauty and love. His feet like burnished bronze refined in a furnace. The alchemical element of Mercury, the quicksilver messenger and transformer. His hair white like wool, the timeless crown of Saturn, father of cycles and keeper of memory. A sharp sword came from his mouth, the fiery emanation of Mars, the active, discerning logos that cuts illusion from truth. These are not merely planetary symbols, they are psychic forces, the 7 powers of the soul. To hold the 7 stars in the right hand is to possess mastery over the planetary psyche, to integrate the many into one. Christ as the solar logos is the axis of harmony, the radiant consciousness that orders and reconciles the 7-fold spectrum of being. In Kabbalistic cosmology, the lightning flash of creation, or the flaming sword of Sophia, descends from the crown, Kether, to the kingdom Malkuth, weaving spirit into matter. It's not a fall, but a flowering. It blooms into existence. It's a crystallization of divine intelligence. And when the serpent returns upward through the tree, it's not an escape from the world, but a re-enlightening of it. The serpent's ascent is awakening of the divine within matter, not its rejection. It's the illumination of embodiment, not the abandonment of it. We don't climb back to heaven as if earth were exile. We ignite heaven through earth. The return is not a reversal, but a completion, spirit becoming conscious of itself within form. So the so-called fall was the flowering of spirit into form, the infinite becoming intimate with itself. To awaken Christ within means remembering that this very body, this world, this density of being is the medium of divine realization. The Christ impulse is not to abandon matter for spirit, but to let spirit realize itself through matter, to become conscious creators within creation itself. In that sense, redemption is not return, but recognition. The serpent doesn't crawl back to Eden, it illuminates Eden from within. Heaven and earth were never apart, only unawakened to their unity. The descent as condensation, not exile. Esoteric traditions often describe the soul's journey as a fall, from Saturn through the celestial spheres, down to the moon, and finally to Earth. But this fall is often misunderstood. It isn't a punishment or a mistake. It is a process of differentiation, of divine consciousness becoming increasingly specific, tangible, and self-aware. Each sphere, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon, isn't a layer to escape, but a frequency that contributes to our composite being. Saturn gives us form and structure, the skeleton of time. Jupiter gives expansion and wisdom. Mars gives vitality and desire. The Sun gives consciousness and illumination. Venus gives beauty and love. Mercury gives intellect and communication. The Moon gives reflection and embodiment. We arrive at Earth, not as prisoners, but as microcosmic mirrors of the macrocosm. We didn't fall, we folded into being. We are not exiles fallen from unity. We are unity focusing itself into form. The act of incarnation isn't banishment from the divine, but divinity exploring its own depths through density. Matter, Malkuth, is not a tomb, it is a temple. We didn't fall into matter, we folded into it. We're not returning upward to escape the physical, we are unfolding to remember that every atom already contains infinity. The purpose of descent. The soul's journey is not about climbing back up a ladder to heaven, but about realizing that heaven and earth are the same axis seen from 2 directions. The return is not a reversal, but a revelation, awakening to the fact that we never left. The descent was necessary because consciousness can only know itself by entering contrast. By becoming finite, it tastes infinity. So Eden is a recurring state of consciousness, not a one-time place. Each fractal is the same archetypal story playing out at different scales. So let's unfold these fractals to show you how they mirror one another. The first fractal is from spirit to flesh. We are naked spirits, then we materialize and become human. This is the cosmic fall, where pure awareness condenses into form. The nakedness of Eden symbolizes transparency, being without division, without gender, without ego or shame. Eating the fruit is incarnation itself, tasting matter, duality, and self-awareness. Eden isn't lost, it becomes internalized. The body becomes the new garden. The second fall is from child to adult. We are innocent children, then we mature into adulthood. This repeats the same pattern in miniature. Childhood mirrors Eden. We live in wonder and presence, naked to the world. Puberty, the fruit, awakens self-consciousness, desire, shame, and moral awareness. When a boy reaches puberty, he grows an Adam's apple, and his voice deepens. That's why all men have an Adam's apple, which marks puberty. We're exiled from simplicity into complexity, from innocence to experience. But the adult who returns to childlike wonder through wisdom becomes Eden restored. And the third fractal is from the golden age to the dark age. We are awakened beings in the ages of enlightenment, then we're forgetful beings in the ages of darkness. Civilizations too cycle through this fractal. Each age begins in harmony, Edenic consciousness. Then material desire and separation rise, the fall. Enlightenment is regained when the collective remembers its divine origin, a return to the garden, but with awareness. So in all three, the pattern is the same. Innocence, then experience, then remembered innocence, a higher octave. That's the fractal of Eden. Not a place in time, but a rhythm of being.